The attack by Iran on Israel has raised fears of an all-out war between the two countries. This has brought attention to their military might. Which side has the bigger army? Who possesses more advanced, potent weapons? The spark has been lit, and the drumbeats of war are thumping loud in West Asia. Iran attacked Israel with hundreds of drones on April 13th as retaliation for Israel targeting its consulate and generals in Syria earlier in the month. The attack, though didn't cause much destruction in Israel, has stoked fears of an all-out war in West Asia. This renewed fear of a larger conflict in the region has brought renewed attention to Iran and Israel's armed forces. We take a closer look at both the militaries and how they match up against one another. The comparison of Iran and Israel's militaries shows that Tehran outclasses the Jewish nation in terms of manpower. Iran has a population 10 times larger than Israel's, from which it draws its armed forces. According to Global Firepower's 2024 index, Iran's population stood at 87 millions. Compare this to Israel, who has a population over 9 millions. This means that Iran has a larger pool of people to pick from. In fact, a New York Times report has stated that the Iranian armed forces are among the largest in the West Asia region, with at least 610,000 active-duty personnel and about 350,000 trained reserve personnel divided among the traditional army and the Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps. This in comparison to Israel, which has 170,000 active military personnel in the army, navy, and paramilitary. A further 465,000 constitute its reserve forces, while 8,000 form part of its paramilitary. However, when it comes to defense spending, Israel outclasses Iran. The Global Firepower Index reveals that Israel's defense budget is $24 billion, whereas Iran's is $9.95 billion. However, Iran's military establishment, especially the Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps, IRGC, does not depend merely on the state budget for its funding, according to the Washington-based Foundation for Defense of Democracies, FDD. The military establishment controls 1/5 of the market value of companies listed on the Tehran Stock Exchange and owns thousands of other companies, all of which generate revenue for the armed forces, the FDD reported. Additionally, the IRGC controls a significant portion of Iran's underground economy. While Iran may outdo Israel in terms of sheet manpower strength, Tel Aviv holds the edge in terms of weaponry. For instance, Israel possesses more air power than Tehran. The Global Firepower Index reveals that Israel has a total of 612 aircraft, whereas Iran has 551. The one important aspect to point out is that Israel's air force comprises the most modern fighter aircraft like F-15s, F-16s, and F-35s. But that is not the case for Iran. In Israel's possession is also its famed multi-tiered aerial defense system, which includes the Iron Dome, David's Sling, Arrow, as well as the Patriot. These together were able to fend off Iran's barrage of drones and missiles on Saturday night. However, Iran's missile arsenal is incomparable. The International Institute for Strategic Studies has reported that Iran has one of the largest arsenals of ballistic missiles and drones in West Asia, which includes cruise missiles and anti-ship missiles, as well as ballistic missiles with ranges up to 2,000 kilometers. These have the capacity and range to hit any target, including Israel. In fact, Iran has made no secret of the build-up, displaying its trove of drones and missiles during military parades, and has ambitions to build a large export business in drones. Iran's drones are being used by Russia and Ukraine and have surfaced in the conflict in Sudan. When it comes to land power, Israel is in possession of 1,370 tanks, whereas Iran has 1,996. However, having more tanks than Israel does not by any stretch ensure military overmatch. Moreover, the Jewish nation has in its arsenal more advanced tanks, such as the Merkava tanks, considered among the best designed and heavily armored in the world. Neither Iran or Israel have much of a naval presence. However, Iran is known for its ability to launch small boat attacks. According to Global Firepower, Tehran's fleet strength is 101 compared to 67. Additionally, it operates as many as 19 submarines, compared with Israel's 5. In terms of nuclear power, Israel has the edge. According to a previous Stockholm International Peace Research Institute report that Israel has approximately 80 nuclear weapons. Of these, Approximately 30 are gravity bombs for delivery by aircraft. The remaining 50 weapons are for delivery by Jericho-2 medium-range ballistic missiles, which are believed to be based with their mobile launchers in caves at a military base east of Jerusalem. Iran arms, trains, and supports a network of proxy militias throughout West Asia known as the Axis of Resistance. These militias include Hezbollah in Lebanon, the Houthis in Yemen, militia groups in Syria and Iraq, and Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad in Gaza. While they are not counted as part of Iran's armed forces, they are battle-ready, heavily armed and fiercely loyal to Iran, and would even come to Tehran's aid if attacked. One of the most valuable tools in the Iranian arsenal is the network of militias that its leadership has cultivated, coordinated, trained, and supplied with advanced weaponry. The network extends across the broader Middle East from Lebanon to Pakistan, and these proxies have proven integral to Tehran's security, longevity, and influence. They provide the Islamic Republic with strategic depth and wide regional influence and access while insulating Iran's leadership from the full risk of their actions. The path ahead is unclear with no clear indications if these two titans will go up against one another in a full-fledged war. But until then, the world holds its breath as the clouds of war gather over West Asia. However, experts said that Iran's military is viewed as one of the strongest in the region in terms of equipment, cohesion, experience, and quality of personnel, but it lags far behind the power and sophistication of the armed forces of the United States, Israel, and some European countries. Iran's greatest weakness is its air force. Much of the country's aircraft date from the era of Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, who led Iran from 1941 to 1979, and many have been disabled for lack of spare parts. The country also bought a small fleet from Russia in the 1990s. Iran's tanks and armored vehicles are old, and the country has only a few large naval vessels.